What's going on, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things MCU, and today we have some new details about Spider-Man 3. Some casting details about some old characters that are going to be returning, and some new characters, as if we already didn't have enough. But the casting of these characters and the description of these characters actually give us a lot to go off of as far as the plot is concerned about Spider-Man 3. In fact, these casting calls give us a little bit of an insight as far as how it's going to go now that Peter Parker's identity has been revealed and the world knows that he is Spider-Man. Because despite the fact that this is going to be an absolutely insanely huge movie, Peter is still going to have to deal with what happened at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. Mysterio not only revealed his identity, but made him out to be a criminal and murderer. And perhaps that's why the other Spider-Man are going to come in from other different universes, but we'll break it all down in this video. And thank you to Discord for sponsoring this video, and just a reminder that I have a Discord of my own. Some of you are already in it and we have lots of good conversations in there. And if you're not and you don't know what Discord is a place for communities. You can join different servers to talk to people within different communities that you love. For example, my Discord community is based off of Marvel, of course, Star Wars, DC, and other awesome pop culture news. You can chat with your friends directly, or you can chat with a bunch of people in a server. In my Discord, we have a huge group chat where we talk about all the latest Marvel news. We share our excitement, we share our theories, we share what we think is going to happen, and we basically just geek out all the time together. So I know everybody loves talking Marvel just like I do, so go ahead and download Discord, join my server so we can all talk together. Just click the link in the description box down below, download Discord, and find your community. And once you download Discord, find my Discord in my About Me section. Now, we'll start off with the previous actors returning. As reported from the Illuminati.com, both Martin Starr and Hannibal Buress are returning as their respective characters, Mr. Harrington and Coach Wilson. Now, neither of these two really had that important roles as far as their characters are concerned, but it does tell us that at some point in time, we may see Peter Parker back at school. More on that in just a bit, but let's talk about the new characters that are being casted for right now. Also coming from the Illuminati.com, right now Spider-Man 3 is casting for an unnamed agent as listed as either male or female, someone that feels intimidating even if it isn't physical. Casting says the actor should ideally be strong in theater, the crew is considering all ethnicities, and they are hoping for the character to feel like a New Yorker. The second character is for an unnamed detective role. According to casting, the film is searching for a male black person of color with a fluid age range. Interest has been shown thus far in Michael K. Williams, Nathaniel Martello White, and Marwan Kenzari. So we have an agent and a detective most likely working together, and both most likely on the case of Spider-Man / Peter Parker. Now, of course, after the video that Mysterio put out at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, there are going to be a lot of people that say Spider-Man is a murderer, Peter Parker is a murderer, especially J. Jonah Jameson. But the law does state we're innocent until we're proven guilty. Now, I guess it depends on whether or not you think Mysterio recording his own video saying that Peter Parker is the murderer is evidence enough to convict Spider-Man as guilty. But he is the bad guy and he's framing Peter Parker, which some people might think he's doing. So there has to be an investigation. They can't just say, you're going to jail. And not to mention, they have to prove that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Mysterio is just throwing around accusations. So Peter Parker is going to have this agent and this detective on his case. Now, we're not sure whether or not they're trying to prove him guilty or they're trying to prove him innocent. They could be very one-sided, thinking that Spider-Man / Peter Parker is in fact a villain. They just need some good evidence to convict him. This could also be another reason why Mr. Harrington and Coach Wilson are returning for the third film. There's a good possibility that they will investigate them. They'll go around talking to Peter Parker's friends, his family, his teachers at school, asking if he's ever done anything to make them believe that he could in fact be Spider-Man or he could in fact be a murderer. Again, an actual investigation has to be held. But this means that Peter Parker probably isn't going to be leaving New York. Typically, if they're investigating him, especially for a murder, he's not going to be able to leave. Now, there is a possibility that the agent character could be working for S.H.I.E.L.D. After all, in Spider-Man Far From Home, Peter Parker, at least he thought he was, working with S.H.I.E.L.D. And he technically was working with S.H.I.E.L.D., but it wasn't Nick Fury or Maria Hill. It was Talos and his wife. But obviously, Spider-Man / Peter Parker has some connections. After all, he was and is an Avenger. So if the local authorities are going to be sending in a detective to investigate the case, S.H.I.E.L.D. may send in one of their own agents to help with it and prove that Peter Parker is in fact innocent. Now, as far as how this will tie into the multiverse aspect of the film, it probably won't play that big of a role. At this point, we're not actually sure how universes collide or how the other Spider-Man get into our universe. Perhaps Doctor Strange helps hide Spider-Man in different universes. Whatever the case may be, the multiverse is definitely going to be a main storyline. We know Wanda is going to affect the universe's reality, throwing it into chaos. That's when Spider-Man 3 comes along, and Doctor Strange is in that film, of course, as we know. And all of that bleeds into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So the multiverse moving forward is going to be a very big part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But as far as Spider-Man 3 is concerned, Peter is still going to have to prove that he's innocent. And hopefully he can convince people that he is not Spider-Man. Perhaps a blind lawyer who is very good at beating people could come in and help him out with that situation. So Peter is going to have to prove his innocence in Spider-Man 3. What do you think about this in the comments down below? Do you think the agent is from S.H.I.E.L.D.? And do you think Matt Murdock will show up as Peter's lawyer? Leave your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest MCU news. For live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.